Hello hackers! Welcome to the new video where we are going to hack a basic password reset poisoning lab from Web Security Academy and powered by PortSwigger. So this lab is vulnerable to the password reset poisoning, and we have the target Callus that is able to click on any links in emails that he receives. And to solve the lab, all what we have to do is to log in as a Carlos's account. And also they provide us an account of winner and password of Peter, so we can test the workflow. So before moving forward guys, in this lab I'm going to use two techniques. One of them is to use my own server in here. So I'm going to show you how the real life attack works, not just solving the lab. So this server is similar to Collaborator in Burp Suite Professional Edition, and I'm gonna show you how we can use our server to do this attack. So guys, before moving forward, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and let's start. And here we go guys. So the first thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to test the workflow. So let me go to my account. Then I'm going to use the username of winner and password of Peter over here. Let me log in, so I don't need to save anything. And here we go. Now you can see my username is already mentioned and also my email. And as you can see over here, this is my specific domain name and also it's my server. So now the first step that I'm going to do, I will try to test how the reset password works in this program. So let me log out, then go to my account. Here we go. So let me go to forget password. And my focus is going to be on this functionality in here. So let me activate Foxy Proxy. I'm going to use Community Edition in here. So let me go to the proxy, click introspect twice, and then let's go to HTTP history. Okay, so let me try to update my password. Now you can see he's tell us that we can use the username or the email. So to make it more easy, I'm going to use my username, which is winner. So let me submit. Here we go. Now he said, please check your email for reset password link. So let me just check it over here. Now you can see we have this post method to forget password. Let's just check it. Here we go. Now you can see we have the body of the username. Also we have CSRF token. So I'm going to send it to repeater so I can check it later. I don't need to check those requests. So let me go to my email. If you don't know, we do have our own server over here. So let me click right, open link in a new tab. Here we go. And as you can see here, we have this email account. Let me click on it. And here we go. So now you can see we received an email to reset password. And let me just click on it. And here we go, he sent me to reset a new password. But let me check what just happened in here. Now you can see we have this get method. So when we clicked on that link, we did this function, which is forget password. Then we have this key temp forget password token, and then we have the token. So let me try to update my password. Let's say 1234. Let me put it 1234 and let me submit. I don't need to save the credential. Here we go. Let me check the post request. As you can see in here, we have forget password, temp forget pass, and here it's the same URL and the same endpoint, but with a different method. So let me click on it. Let me just check it. And as you can see, we have in the body, we have the token and the new password. So let me send this to repeater so I can check it later. And here we go. Now I have it over here. So now, as you can see, I have two requests and I'm going to check if one of them is vulnerable. So the first one is to send an email. So let me just rename it in here. So this, let's say forget password. And this function is for update the password. So let me just rename it and put it update password over here. So let me go to forget password. Let me check if we can do some manipulation over here. And my focus is going to be on this host. So some systems probably they be vulnerable to this attribute over here, where the system trusts the user input and use the same host that they came from the request without doing any check. So how I can see if this request is vulnerable to the HTTP host attack? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this one to something not exist in real life. So let me say Popo in here, let's say .hack for example, and let me send and see what's the behavior is going to be. And as you can see, it's 200 status, which means it accepted and it didn't reject it. How I can verify that the request worked fine? Let me just go to my email. So over here, this is my email. Let me refresh. And now we received a new email to update our password. But this time you may be confused. Over here you can see we have the old host, that is the lab DNS, which is the current lab subdomain, but over here we have popo.hack.forgetpassword, and definitely if I'm going to click on it, it should work. So let me click on it. And now you can see it's just rejected. This is basically that we don't have a website, call it Popo.hack, and this is absolutely normal. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to use my own server and see if I'm able to receive this endpoint. So I can install the reset password token in here and I can use it to change my target password and use his account. So as I said, I'm going to use my own server in here so I can receive the request from my target. So let me go. So let me just make this a little bit bigger. You can see. So this is my server, call it receive server. I'm going to click on it. And here we go. So this is my own DNS. So let me just copy in here and let me show you what it shows. Let me see it. So this may take a little bit time. So let's wait. And as you can see, my server only show receive text, so it doesn't do much thing. But in this server, I have the ability to read all the requests that send it to my server. So let me just close this tab, I don't need it. I'm going to use this host. Let me just copy it. Let me just put it in here. So I'm going to copy my server DNS and I'm going to put it over here. And in case that this is a host, I don't need to use HTTPS. Let me just delete it. And let me send the request. And here we go. Now I have 200 in status. And I hope that I will receive an email using this domain name. So let me go to my email. Let me refresh. And here we go. Now you can see I received a new email to update my password. And let's say that this is my target who clicked on the email and he doesn't know that can be a spam. So let's just click on it. And now you can see we got redirected to my own server and we got this received message. But the feature in here that I'm able to read all the URL endpoint with a private token key. So let me go to the receiver in here and let me check the logs. Let me make it bigger so I can see it. So as you can see here, we can check it by time. So today is the 29th August 2025 at 6 p.m. 38. So let me check it in here. We have 6:37. So this is the body is undefined. Let me check the header. So this is the header. And here we go. And as you can see, this is the token. So let me just copy it in here and let me try to use this endpoint so I can update my target account. But this time I'm using my own account. Let me change it in the body. So the previous password was 1234. Let me change it to be 4 zeros in here. And let me change the other one for zeros. Let me submit. I hope this one is work, and probably it works because we got redirected, so we have 302. Let's click for the follow redirection. As you can see, we got 200 status, which means it works fine. So let me go to the lab and let me try to connect with this new password. So let's go to my account, winner, and let's say 4 zeros in here. So to verify this one, let's just change the password type. So let me click in here and we have this type password. Let's just change it to text so you can see it. And here we go. Now you can see we are going to use 4 zeros. Let me log in. And here we go. Now it works so fine. and that means we hack it successfully. So now let's try to do the same thing to do it in our target, which is Carlos. In a real life scenario, we can do it. In the Web Security Academy, probably we can't. This is because we don't have the ability that we can use it on Web Security Academy because there is restriction from the lab. But what we are going to do, we are going to use the provided server, which is explore blah 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 and explore server.net. So we have it in here. So let's just open in a new tab. Let me just scroll down. Let's go to the access log. And here we go. Now you can see we have our own server. So you don't really need to have the server as I did. But I just wanted to show you how you can do it in a real life scenario. And now I'm going to show you how we can do it based on the provided server from the lab. And I'm going to do the same steps to show you how we can do it. So let me back over here. So let me just copy this server DNS. Let me just copy it in here. Let me go to the forget password. I'm going to use it over here. Let me say paste. And here we go. Let me submit the request. Okay, now I got rejected. This is because the CSRF token doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to intercept this request again so I can bypass this invalidation of CSRF token. So let me go to the proxy and let me back to the lab over here. Let me just log out. Here we go. Let me go to my account. Let's go to forget password. And over here, I'm going to intercept it. So let me intercept over here. I'm going to do it for winner. Let me submit. So the post request, probably this one is forget password. And I'm going to change this one with a new DNS for the provided server. And let me just forward it in here. Let me close the interspect. I don't need it. And here we go. Now you can see we have check your email. And let me check my email. Refresh. And here we go. Now you can see if I click on this one, probably it's going to send the request to the local server. And here he said the resource not found, Academy Explore server, whatever. Let me just go to the access log. And here we go. Now I'm in the access log. I'm going to use Control F. So this one, let me just go to the repeater. I'm going to search for this keyword. Forget/password, and here we go. So let me just continue forward, and now you can see we have this token over here. You can see it. We have the tokens. I can just copy it from here and then reuse it. Now I show you how we can use our local server instead of your own server. So now I'm going to do the same thing, but for the Carlos users. Let's go to proxy, and then let's go to intercept. And let me back to the lab over here. I'm going to send it to Carlos this time. Okay, let me intercept it. Here we go. Let me submit. Here we go. So this one. And I need to change this host. So let me back on here. So this is the server. I can just copy it from here. And let me paste it over here, and let me just forward it. I don't need to intercept anymore. And I hope that Carlos is going to click on that link. So let me go to the server log. Here we go. Let me just refresh. And now let me search with the same keyword. So this is mine. And let me see if there is another one. And here we go. We have the another one, and we have this provided token. So probably this one is for the Carlos user. So let me back to repeater in here. So in update password, let's back to the previous request. Here we go. I'm going to use these tokens. Let me change it in the header, and let me change it in the body. And let's keep the password for zeros in here, and let me send. Okay, what we got in here, we have invalid CSRF token. What I got in here, we have invalid CSRF token. So what I'm going to do, let me see if we have new CSRF from this one. So let me back to the proxy. Let's go to interspect. We have this forget password. Let me take this CSRF. I hope this one is going to work. Let me just paste it in here and let me test. Also, it doesn't work probably. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat the step, but in this time with a careless. So let me back to the basic lab in here. Let's say winner. Let me back to the email. Let me refresh. Let me click on here. And okay, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to put 4 zeros. But let me just introspect it and let me just copy this token. I'm going to change this request with a new token. Let me intercept it. Let me submit. Here we go. So probably this is the request. Here we go. I'm going to change this token. And also I'm going to change this token. Here we go. So I have now a new CSRF token. Let me just forward it. I hope this works fine. So let me check it in here. And here we go. Now you can see it's a 302 status. So probably it's worked. So let me check. Now I'm going to use careless. I'm going to put 4 zeros in here. So let me show it to you. Okay, let's change the password type to text and let's check. And here we go, guys. Now we finally solved the lab. I hope that you learned something new that you didn't know before. And I hope that you learned how we can use your own server to receive the request and read its logs. So if you're interested about how we can build a server, just put it in the comment below. So guys, I hope that you learned something new. I hope that you learned how we can use our own server to receive a request like this one. And if you're very interested about this topic, please put it in the comment below so I can make a new video about how to build your own server to use it in a real life scenario. So guys, if you're still watching the video until now, I just want to say thank you so much and see you in the next video.